Hello and welcome. Today we are going to go ahead and take a look at the Providence. So, taking a look, you can see that this is a very large ship. It is almost the full length of my outpost landing pad. Um, Despite this is still a Class A ship and is, a matter of fact, in the next ship in my Settler class series. So let me go ahead and pop out of photo mode and do a walk around. So, settler ships are ships that you would go ahead and take to set up a new homestead on some far distant world. Because of this, we want a ship that anyone can fly. So that's a Class A ship with 0 ranks of Starship design. We want a ship that can go ahead and carry everything that we would need to set up an outpost. So that means that we need a cargo hold, we need a workshop, we need an infirmary, and we also need someplace that we can sleep and live in while we work on setting up that outpost wherever we ended up. This particular ship came about when I saw a post on Reddit about somebody trying to go ahead and get a kind of mid mount with the Tayo landing bay. So you can actually see that the landing bay is in the center of this ship. And despite the appearance, yes, you can actually get the rover out. Um, and, it's a great ship to have if, you're expecting some rain. Wonderful umbrella. So let's go ahead and start with a tour of the interior. So first things first, we entered through that tire landing bay, and we are immediately entering into the 2x1 Deimos armory. Right below us, we have our docking bay, so this is the entrance for everything on the ship. And then we are immediately going forward and entering the cabot bridge. So this is the fun bridge that has the ladder or stairs instead of ladders. And then immediately behind this, we have the 3x2 mess hall. Now, this particular one is the Nova Galactic one, though you could certainly use a different mess hall if you prefer, the different aesthetic. Excuse me. I do like this one because it does include the fridges that look operational and kind of like this whole galley area, which is the whole kitchen, as well as seating for 16 at the main tables, another little side table here, and then over here we also have some relaxation areas. Do note that if we were to go ahead and remove this window here, there should also be some more couches that show up over here. And while the windows are very nice, and for this ship I think they are wonderful additions, we could definitely use to add a little bit more furniture in here. So this is going to be the primary crew relaxation area. Next, we get into the spines. These are the HopeTech spines, and they are leading us back into a series of 1x1 companionways. We have one here, here, and here. So let's start by going up first. Alright, up here, first things first, we have the 2x1 Tayo Captain's Quarters, complete with its own private bath, captain's bed, navigation console, and then we can come on this side, and this is the 2x2 Nova living quarters. We've got a weight bench to work out at, a desk that we can all sit and, say, play cards at, 2 beds, a nice big couch with a TV to relax at, a pool table right over here, another little table that we can relax at, an upstairs galley. It's not much, however, definitely enough that it looks like we get a toaster oven and a sink, so that's not nothing. And of course, coffee. We have a bathroom right here in the corner. some desks in case we need to do some paperwork. And coming on over here, we enter into the tile 2x2 living quarters, or all in one berth, sorry. This particular one has a little table that we can relax at, space for a cargo. There's a bathroom right over here. Another galley. I would not expect this one to get too much use with the mess hall, but you know, maybe you would want to use it. And then right on over here, we have 4 bunks. So we've got 7 beds on this ship for use. Then we can come on down here into this companionway. We can see that right over here on this side, we have the Deimos workshop. And we can come around over to this side where we have the Nova Galactic Infirmary. We've got the pharmaceutical lab there and the research lab right there. Some windows to look out the back. And then finally we can come right down here, and this is the Nova Galactic 2x3 cargo bay. Now, normally Starfield only lets you have one landing bay. However, if we were to run one of the mods that lets us have 2 landing bays, I would definitely go ahead and install one right here. So that way, there's basically, do you want to enter the kind of crew area or do you want to enter the cargo area? And that is the interior of the ship. So let's go ahead and take a look at how it's built. I will definitely say that this whole little shaded area under the ship is one of my favorite parts of this. All right. So as I mentioned, this is a Class A ship. Um, However, I am running a few mods that could affect this. The first one is I have a ship part unlocker, which means that I can get all the pieces for my ship at my outpost landing pad. This means that I don't need to go flying around to get all the pieces, and that's just a quality of life thing. You don't need that mod to build this ship, it just makes it a little easier. The other mod that I'm running that could be relevant is I have a fleet size mod that lets me go ahead and have more ships in my fleet. However, this mod also increases the number of parts that I can have on a ship. The base game allows for 130 parts, if I remember correctly, and this mod increases that to 500. I do not believe that this ship hits the base game part cap. However, if you do hit that part cap, then what you're going to need to do is we can get rid of some of this greebling on top, and we can get rid of some of the portholes, and we can still keep the general shape and feel of this ship by doing so. Alright, with all that out of the way, let me go ahead and do my usual, select everything, and delete. Alright, so coming on over here, we're going to start with the landing bay, and we're going to have it be the rear-facing one. Immediately after, we're going to come on over to the Habs, going to grab the Deimos armory, and then selecting the front of the armory, we're going to come on over to the cockpits, and I'm going to select the Cabot C3 bridge. Then on the back, I'm going to come on over to the Habs tab, and I'm going to select the Nova Galactic 2x3, and I'm just going to go ahead and keep it the cargo hold, and then select and swap that over to the mess hall. This does mean that it's possible that the game will decide to put a ladder in here somewhere because it loves ladders. However, it has avoided doing so in the several rebuilds that I've done of this ship to make sure I remember how it's built. Um, Coming off the back of this, we are going to go ahead and select that HopeTech Hab spine, and then we're going to copy it. I would love to go ahead and make this a 2x1 hab, probably something like, say, a control station. However, if I do that, the base game is going to go ahead and put ladders here, and that's going to be really annoying to deal with, because then it turns from that nice, fairly easy layout to some laddered mess. Um, so that would be a change that I would make to this ship if I was using something like the Place Doors Yourself mod. Next, at the end of the hab spine, I'm going to go ahead and put my favorite store companionways. On this particular ship, I decided to use the Nova Galactic ones. However, you can use whichever variants you would prefer. And we're going to have 3 companionways right here. We could potentially have another 2x1 hab here as well. However, that would then cause some issues back here about where exactly the ship wants to stick ladders. So next up, on the underside of this, I'm going to grab the Nova Galactic cargo hull. This one is going to remain the cargo hull. Then on this side, I'm going to go ahead and select the Nova Galactic 2x1 and swap that on over to the infirmary. On this side, I'm going to go ahead and select the Dymos 2x1 and turn that one into the workshop. Then on the upper companionway, I'm going to select this, and I'm going to come on down to the Tayo, and I'm going to select the Tayo all-in-one or 2x1 top A. Note this one does not have any side connectors, so this is how we're guaranteeing that our side entries are going to be out of this companionway rather than having the game decide, oh hey, we want to put side entries off the side of this. Next up on here, I'm going to stay over here in the tire area. I'm going to grab the all-in-one 2x2 top B, and the B has these side entrances, but I don't want it right here, so I'm going to just slide that forward. And since this is only connected to this head, that guarantees that we do have that door there. On this side, I'm going to go on up to the Nova Galactic, and I'm going to grab the 2x2 and then go select the living quarters, and this automatically puts it where I want it. Finally, I'm going to come right under here, and I'm going to come on over to the dockers, and I'm going to grab the slim docker. And that is it for the human navigable portions of this ship. You can see that without all that extra structure, the layout is actually fairly simple here. Alright, all this being said, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my reactor and my grav drive. These are going to get tucked in right here and then right here. Which spots it is does not matter. Go with everyone makes you happy. So I did on this side, and I'm using the 134mm. We could just as easily use the 360T Stellarator, but it should be one of these 2 reactors to get the most power without Starship design. Coming on over to this side, now we're going to grab the grav drives. This particular ship, I did go ahead and use the R3000. However, you could just as easily go ahead and run the Helios 300 and save 4 mass and, a few credits. Alright, with those in place, let's go ahead and grab our landing gear now. So this ship has 4 pieces of landing gear. First, we've got the ACU-11 lander. This is the Stroud Eklund landing gear. And we're going to go ahead and put 2 right up front behind the bridge. Next, back here, we are going to go ahead and select the pinpoint 3G, and we're going to do the rear variant, so we get that little engine there. I'm going to copy that on over to this side. All right. We have 2 errors remaining. We need our engines and we need our fuel. So engines, we are going to need to wait until we have some structural pieces in place, but we can go ahead and add our fuel right now. Right here on the back of the companionway, I'm going to go ahead and place the 400G HE3 tank. This is a rear connection piece here. And then I am now going to go ahead and go into the Structures tab, and I'm going to start grabbing structural pieces. First, I'm going to grab the hull, Dymo's Hull A. This is actually not being used on the ship. However, there is a small duplication glitch that I'm running to go ahead and add a piece right here. And what I'm looking to add is the Hope Tech riser. So I need this to basically form this little bit here. And then I can pull these off, select, copy, then cancel. And you can see this riser clips into the fuel tank. However, it gives me a connection point that I'm going to use later. Next up, I'm going to go ahead and start adding all of my Stroud cowlings. Oh, sorry, Stroud caps. Alright, so first things first, I want to put this here. And then I'm going to copy this on over, flip it, and put that there. Then, continuing to look at this from the bottom, I'm going to copy this here, and then copy again, flip, I'm going to put that there, copy again, flip, put that there, copy this one, and then copy this one. Then, I'm going to come around here, I'm going to flip this into place. You could also remove the landing gear and then put that in and then flip the landing gear back into place. Either way you want to do it. Alright, so that is the bottom layer complete. Next up is for the mid layer. Here, I went ahead and I used the Stroud mid bracers here. You could just as easily use the Dymo's Hull A if you wanted. They are virtually identical. The Stroud mid bracer does not have a bottom connection piece, but that's not a piece that we're worried about using in this build. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to put 4 of these pieces here, and this is just to kind of block this area and fill it out a little bit. Next up, we're going to come on down here to the Stroud nose cap D. I'm going to put it on so it's covering the grav drive, or on this side the reactor, and then the rear mid bracer. Now you could go ahead and use what's called the Stroud cap C instead of the D. However, the D gives us a weapon mount here that I liked using on the ship just for appearance's sake. So I'm going to copy that, flip it to this side, and place it right there. Now, I'm going to go ahead and pull the landing gear off. We'll see why in just a sec. And then I'm going to come here, and I'm going to come on over to the cargo. And this ship uses 2 Stormax 30 cargo holds. We could certainly put something else on the ship, but this fit in nicely and meant that I wasn't using, like, say, another mid bracer, or the other piece that I would consider using here would be the, where is it, Stroud Cap B, which is kind of like an engine mount piece here. Alright, right behind this, and the reason why we removed the landing gear, I'm going to come on over to the engines. I have 4 Airman 3 engines on this ship. I'm going to place one here, one here, one here, and one here. Now that these are in place, I'm going to pull this back over, flip, flip, and put that back in. The reason why I have to go ahead and flip that in after the engines is there's a slight amount of clipping because this does extend above the top of the hab. All right, that's kind of the mid layer done. Next, for this top layer, first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to come on over here and I'm going to go to the shields. I'm going to choose whichever shield that I want to put on because I'm going to be hiding this. This particular build, I used the Marduk 1010A. However, we could just as easily use the, say, Bastille S81, which is worse, but, looks a little different. Or the 30S, which is better. However, this one is going to expose itself a little bit out of the, what's it called? The cap that I put in place. Next up, let's go on over to the structural tab, and I'm going to grab the Stroud nose cap, put it to the side, and then I'm going to move it into place, flip, flip, and then cancel. And now that is there, hiding the shield. Next up, I'm going to come on up here to the Stroud caps. I'm going to place one there and one there. And then I'm going to place a Stroud cowling here and one there. Next, on the front of the side berths, I'm going to go ahead and put a Deimos braking engine. Continuing on from here, we're going to come around to this back portion. And then I'm just going to copy this, flip it, place it, and put that there. Then, because I don't feel searching in, I'm going to grab the Stroud mid bracer and place one there and one there. Alright, next up I'm going to come over here and I'm going to grab the HopeTech radiator. Right behind that, I'm going to grab the HopeTech pipes. Then I'm going to copy the pipes. They'll appear somewhere. And then right here, I'm going to grab the HopeTech pipes mid. Grab 2 of those. Then I'm going to push this here, flip, flip, cancel, and that's in place. I'm going to copy, put that there, and there we go. This is the general structure of the ship. At this point, all that's left is to put on weapons, windows, and colors. So for windows, I went ahead, and we're still in the structural tab, I just started adding a bunch of portholes all over the place. Also, while we are talking about things that we can do with the Play Stores Yourself mod, I would also totally go ahead and replace these mid bracers with another hab of some sort to go ahead and give us more space. But again, if we were to do that without the Play Stores Yourself mod, the layout of the ship gets really wonky really fast. Alright, next up, the portholes here. I'm going to place one on the rear, but I'm not going to place one on the front because if I did that, it would go ahead and remove the bathroom that's located on this. On this side, I could place portholes on one or both of these. However, just to kind of mirror that side, I'm going to put just one here. Next, I'm going to sneak in under here, and I'm going to go ahead and put a porthole here, looking out the front and basically looking directly at the landing bay, and then another one right here. Then I'm going to come back here, and I'm going to put a porthole here, a porthole here, and another porthole here. Finally, for weapons, on this particular build, I went ahead and used 3 PBO-30 auto electron beams. One there, and then one there. And then I used 4 Disruptor 3300A auto electron beams. One there, one there, one there, and one there. So now that everything is in place, I do have one error, and that is just I need to assign my weapons. So we can see that with the ship as is, using entirely Class A parts without Starship design, I've got a 27 light year jump range, 50 mobility, the 150 top speed that you get from all Class A ships, and some rather mediocre weapons. If you do get Starship design, you can easily upgrade the jump drive, reactor, and engines to go ahead and upgrade your cargo as well, or just and also upgrade your shield. Those would kind of be the top things that I would look to do if I was changing the ship with Starship design. I would not try and make this a Class C ship. However, you could go ahead and pretty easily make it a Class B, because the Class B reactors are the same size. Other than that, we just have painting the ship, which rather than painting it in front of you, I'm just going to exit and cancel my modifications, and there we go. So, now that we have seen how the ship is built, let's go ahead, take it up into space, and get some pictures. And we can see that the orbit around my little moon here is a little crowded with debris because I keep getting in a fight with bounty hunters and other things that decide to show up. So rather than stay here, let's just pop on over here to let's do Montera Luna. We'll just fly on over here really quick.
Approaching ship, you've entered Freestar Collective space. Maintain your current course while we scan for contraband. And that's it. You're cleared to land.
And then let's pop on here into the photo mode. And then because that would be a really cool shot, let's do a front shot looking down over the planet. There we go. All right. So that is the Providence. Thank you very much for joining, and have a good one.